Next we go to South Korea, where it's never been easy to be openly gay, but it's become that much tougher since a cluster of 130 viral infections was traced back to a gay nightclub in Seoul. One man who is able to talk openly about the impact of that incident is performing artist Heezy.
I was born and raised in Seoul, and I would say I'm a queer artist and activist here in South Korea. I make all kinds of art using many different media, and also I perform as a drag queen, and I protest with my art and with my drag.
So when the coronavirus came to Seoul, one of the clusters of infections, about 130 cases I think, started at a gay nightclub. Tell us what that did, that fact becoming public.
Basically, all the gay clubs and bars in the area were affected, and they are going through a very tough time as Korean media and lots of conservative groups and parties and conservative people in general blame the gays or LGBTQ people, sexual minority as a whole, for the spread of COVID-19.
Tell us a little bit more about the neighbourhood. It sounds as if it's one of the places where people could be themselves.
Homo Hill is the area where lots of gay bars and clubs are, and having this kind of area or bars, this space is very important to sexual minorities or gays, LGBTQ people in Korea, because it is compared to a lot of Western countries. Korea is a very conservative society where very conservative Christianity is the biggest religion. So people cannot be freely be themselves when they're with their family or friends or colleagues at work. So that's why they need to sometimes go out and meet people who are in the same position or, share similar stories. So yeah, it's very vital for LGBTQ people to have these spaces.
When this outbreak became public, the South Korean government wants to track and trace everyone who's infected to try to stop the virus spreading. Why was that a real problem in Itaewon?
So these clubs and bars actually took their visitors and customers' names and cell phone numbers and where they live. A lot of the people didn't write their information correctly because the fear of being outed. Because once they are tracked down and get tested, and if the results were positive, then the information will be revealed on the internet without the name, but just enough information so people can guess who these people are.
I can see the struggle for you here because you're talking about risk. You're talking about a risk to public health if people don't give their names and people aren't traced. But you're also talking about a risk of being outed. Are you feeling a real struggle there, or some people have a real struggle with this?
For being out and proud activists and artists, but there are a lot of friends of mine, even artists or activists who are for LGBTQ organizations are not, many of them are not out. And they still have to lie about their sexuality or sexual orientation to their family, their parents.
Heezy, before coronavirus, do you think things were getting easier when you talk about pride gatherings or parades in Seoul, for example? Was that possible? Were those gatherings getting bigger before the virus?
In general, things seem to be going well and going towards the right direction, because Seoul Pride, I've been going to the festival for about 10 years now, and the first time I went there, the size of it was approximately 2,000 or 3,000 people. But last year, they had over 120,000 people. So the size of it has become really big, and there have been more media coverage about LGBTQ people in general, and mainstream media and K-pop even included, not like very out and loud, but subtly they included more queer and LGBTQ factors and culture little by little. So things seem to be going to the right direction, but then this one outbreak happened, and people had to face they had to face the fact that things weren't actually as good as it seemed, or there have always been problems.
Heezy Yang in South Korea.